Good evening, everybody. My name is Gabby Giordano, and my semester specialization is going to be discussing slope movements and landslides. I decided to choose slope movements with landslides because I have a particular interest in volcanoes and how volcanic soils may affect our engineering decisions. So first I want to talk about how slope movements can be classified. They can be classified as slow flowage, rapid flowage, subsidence, and landslides. Tonight we will be focusing on landslides. Landslides can be further classified into three types. You can classify them as a slide, or liquefaction, or creep. Each of these will be further discussed. First, we will be talking about slides. If you can imagine a hillside, and it can have anything on it, grass, animals, anything, what's important to recognize is that this hillside has a certain loading capacity that it's able to withstand, and these little particles of soil know that they can only withstand a certain amount, and if something were to happen where more loading occurs, these soil particles will fail, and this will become dangerous if there is a city or neighborhood below this hillside, because eventually the soil will come down and hit the neighborhood or city, and obviously that is very dangerous. The next type that we will be talking about is liquefaction. Liquefaction is able to occur in loose soils, and loose soil basically looks like all of the different soil particles are very spread out. They're not very densely compacted. And another type of soil that it can happen in is dense soil, where all of the soil particles are more closely compacted. From our knowledge in Geotech 1, we know that soil has an optimized saturation point. In this soil, however, the saturation level goes far beyond its optimized level, and because of that, the soil has become a liquid and is no longer able to hold the loading that it originally is able to, and because of that, the soil actually acts as a liquid and can no longer hold the loading capacity that it was originally holding. The next type of slope movement that we'll be looking at is creep, and that is very similar to going to your hometown after a long time of not being there. You have your mom, your dad, your favorite restaurant, mine's Cousin Mario's, you have your dog, and then you come back and there's a new pizza place and your mom's turned into a crazy chicken lady. So how does that look like creep? Well, it can happen very similarly, because with creep you might have trees that are cut down and then the soil loses its strength and then erosion happens and road system failure happens, all because the roots were destroyed. So how do we know if a slide, liquefaction, or creep occurs? Our current prediction methods include terrain stability mapping, rainfall to landslide, and earthquake to landslide relationships, but really what we need is research. And currently, our most innovative prediction method is electrical resistivity. You're able to complete this in 2D or 3D, and what it does is create a colorful picture of a landslide so that it can show you where things are able to be placed. So how does this relate to Italy, and how does it relate to volcanoes, and how does it relate to our current problems? Well, currently in Italy, there has been research done over the last 50 years. In the last 50 years, there have been 1,332 or more landslides. And out of all of those, 20 of the most catastrophic landslides have been further researched. One case that is particularly interesting is Mount Vesi. If you take the time to read about it, you will learn that the soil borings that they took only had a depth of 270 centimeters. So that is our traditional testing in how they could understand what happened with this landslide. If electrical resistivity was used at this landslide, there could have been a depth of 30 meters researched. Now, in the research that they did complete, they were able to find that a soil labeled as soil 2C was the error or the weakest link within the landslide. While this is a fantastic finding, if electrical resistivity in a 2D picture would have been used, soil 2C could have been found more quickly, more effectively, and over a larger area of land. This could prevent way more money to be saved, and it could save many more people within the future as well. Now, I completely understand that this is one example among thousands across the United States, Europe, and the world. However, it is one example of how traditional research has only given us a small piece of the picture. If electrical resistivity in 2D or 3D pictures was utilized, further historical data could be stored and researched for generations to come, and our research now could prevent landslides in the future. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch my semester specialization. I really hope that you were able to learn something from it. I had a lot of fun researching into the topic.